we are on a lazy Saturday afternoon, morning. Mamie and Tux were doing homemade lasagna. And I think Mamie took a picture of what it looks
I
like.
did.
And that's just a half pan. I also made a whole pan, and I would say, without exaggerating, it weighs 7 pounds.
I believe it.
So, with lasagna, you want it to be, it's the main event. And so you want it to be the star. And the only way it's gonna be a star is if it looks really good. So I'm gonna give you a couple of, 2 or 3 hints on lasagna. First of all, on your pasta, only use pasta from Italy. Like Barilla is fine, or Di Longoro, or buy it at Trader Joe's. They have a wonderful pasta from Italy. And so when we're making it, the secret to that is on the bottom of your pan, you want to put quite a bit of your homemade spaghetti sauce that you've made. And then you want to put a layer of your pasta going, what you call this, horizontal maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Horizontally. And then for the meat, and the secret to that is I added 3/4 Italian sausage and only 1/4 of beef. It gives it a lot of flavor.
Does it?
Yeah, it really gives it. And then add a little bit of baking soda to that. It'll get nice and brown. And then I added some onions and garlic. Cook that all together. Layered it on my first layer of lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
Now the trick of it is this, Mamie.
Mm-hmm.
People would think when you're putting your second layer, you would go horizontal again. You don't want to.
Don't do that.
You want to go,
Kind of lattice or something? Is there
well, you
something
want to go
called?
across. Instead of lengthwise, you want to go this way. And what you're doing is you're building up a wall so that it gives your lasagna, it's sturdy.
Okay.
So after you have your first layer, then your meat, second layer going this way, then you want to add your cheese layer.
Okay.
Now what I do is I only use whole milk ricotta.
Okay.
I don't use the skim milk. It's too thin. Then I'll add Parmesan cheese to that and lots of mozzarella and an egg. The egg just gives it structure.
Okay.
Okay? So we add that, and then always, any Italian would tell you, always put fresh parsley
Parsley.
in your ricotta. So going back to it, on the bottom of the pan, layer of sauce, your pasta, and on top of that, your meat mixture. On top of that, a little bit more sauce. On top of that, pasta going is that, I don't know the right word for that. Is it perpendicular? But it's crosswise, so we're building a wall.
Why not?
Then on top of that, you want to add a little more sauce. But remember one thing, what we're doing, and you haven't caught on to it yet. We're not pre-cooking the pasta. We're putting the pasta in. Most people think you need to pre-cook it. Don't, because it breaks it down.
Yeah, I always
So
have.
we're keeping our pasta uncooked. That's why we're putting so much sauce. So after that sauce, after the cheese, then you're gonna put another layer of pasta, and that'll go horizontal across. So horizontal this way, and then that way. And then on top of that, once you've got that, you wanna add more sauce,
Okay.
cover it with sauce,
More sauce.
and then your mozzarella cheese
Cheese.
with your Parmesan, and then you're going to put some fresh parsley on there again. You really want the parsley because it's so pretty on that.
And I believe that you only use fresh cheeses. I mean, my Parmesan is in a little container that I sprinkle.
Oh, though that would be your,
Oh, that's
no, I only use fresh. But if that's all you have, use it. But
use it.
it's always better to do everything fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we've got that all done. We got the last layer of sauce. And then we're gonna sprinkle on our mozzarella cheese, and grate your own cheese if you can. and then some fresh parsley. And then the key to it is covering the whole thing with plastic wrap. Now
Okay.
people say, why would you do that? You're gonna put it in the oven. Believe me, it won't melt. And it'll keep your lasagna, your cheese from getting all
You
hard.
mean you don't put tinfoil on top at that point?
No, you're gonna put your plastic wrap.
Plastic
And
wrap
then
only.
after that, you're gonna put on your tinfoil. Had you put your tinfoil on top of the sauce, it would have caused, the tinfoil would have begun to break down
oxidize,
because
right?
of the tomatoes. So you put that,
Oh.
and then what I've done this morning, because it's such a large pan, I put it on at 200 degrees for about 2 hours, just there to get it nice and hot. Then I'm gonna turn up the oven to 350 and
350.
finish it off.
Okay.
Because you want your lasagna to be about 180 degrees. And after you've cooked it and taken it out, then you're gonna leave it on the counter
Okay.
for about 20 minutes.
And I believe that you had already, maybe you mentioned this, cooked the ground beef and the pork
Oh, yes.
separate, right?
Yes, I actually
Cook
put it
that.
all together.
Put it all together.
And then what you wanna do, I've made an extra pan of spaghetti sauce to put over, after I cut the lasagna, you wanna ladle over some hot sauce because you want a
tasty.
nice saucy piece of lasagna. So the extra spaghetti sauce that I had left from preparing the lasagna, and we'll heat that and we'll put
Put it on there.
it over it. The one thing I did on the spaghetti sauce as well, besides putting in garlic and onions and tomatoes and tomato paste, and I cooked some pork tenderloin.
Okay.
I cut it up, put it in there,
Sounds good.
and let it cook for about 2 hours.
Okay.
Gives it such a good flavor. And then you can shred that tenderloin and have it in your spaghetti sauce that you're putting on
Okay.
top. You don't want Italian sausage pork, then go ahead and just do ground beef. But be sure you drain it really well. But you won't have the flavor. The pork meat with the beef
Really
together
helps it.
just gives it a wonderful flavor for your meat.
Okay, then how long are you gonna cook it again? Or is
Well,
it-
once I've cooked it for about, this is a big pan. A smaller pan, you'd only cook it for an hour at 200 degrees.
Two.
Then you're gonna raise the temperature to 350 and bring it up to.
For how long?
Well, I'd probably say my big pan, 40 minutes, but you may only have to do it a half an hour. The thing is, you want it bubbly. You want to temp the center of the lasagna, not the sides,
Okay.
because they'll cook quicker. The center, and you want it to be about 170.
Okay, and I believe, I haven't seen the lasagna that you have for this catering job. Didn't you say it was about this tall?
Oh yeah. So,
if you want it, you don't have to have it that tall, I don't think.
well,
You just-
mine is that because I've got so much meat.
Yeah,
Because
you
we're
got it.
serving 20 people with this pan.
And how much meat did you say is in that?
It's 7 pounds.
7 pounds.
Because we've got so much meat in the lasagna. And the thing about lasagna is you can make it two to 3 days in advance.
Okay.
And then you have it when you're ready, so you don't have to, because believe it or not, it's a lot of preparation. But saving time by not cooking your pasta. And then when you get into it and you're gonna say, oh, this is so nice, it cuts beautifully
It does.
and looks
It
nice
tastes
on the
good.
plate, because the pasta's not all
Okay,
soggy.
great.
Okay?
Well, thank you for listening today and watching.
Okay.